Hello again. This is Landon Bellum with Remax Professionals and the Griffith Home Team. Welcome back to Realty TV. Today we got a great episode. We're going to be talking about one of the biggest issues that we see in Colorado, especially on inspections and when people are trying to sell homes, and that's roofs. We were actually just looking at some of the stats, and what did you say? Colorado is like the second highest hail state or something in the United States. So anyways, we're going to dive into it and talk about roofing and everything that you could ever need to know with that. So I've got a great guest with us today, my go-to roofer, Brandon Lawson. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what got you into roofing and give us your background?
Appreciate it, Landon. I started roofing right after high school, actually. I just always loved doing sales, didn't like listening to a boss after I worked at the grocery store in high school.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, I don't like this. I'm just going to go do something that I can be my own boss, and ended up in the roofing industry after a good buddy in high school, his brother did roofing. So
Yeah.
kind of ventured into that, started that out because he always had the nicest things. So I'm like, how do I have the nicest things?
How do I
now?
get the nice things? Yeah.
Learned from him a little bit, branched off, started doing that, just working with one of the largest roofing companies in Colorado, learned from them a lot, and then kind of started with this smaller family-run business, so that way we can be more attentive to the homeowners and
Yep.
kind of, it's not like a Walmart where you're just a number, you kind of go in.
Things kind of get lost.
Yeah, exactly. So
in the
when it's
big
a smaller
companies.
company, we actually can track, monitor, and do all of that, give you more attention.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I actually like working for a smaller company.
And so you're with All Exterior Solutions. Why don't you give us a little bit more information about them, what they specialize in, services they offer, and then we can kind of get into the meat of the podcast after that.
Yeah. So they've been in business. It's funny because he actually started it during COVID. So he started at the worst time.
Yeah.
But thankfully, thank God we actually made it through it and did all that. So now we're hitting 5 years. This next year we'll be at 6 years. So, but the cool thing about this company is that I also enjoy is we do everything over here. So we can do roof, gutters, paint, siding, stucco, landscape, everything. So it kind of gives us a huge advantage to when we're dealing with homeowners is we can offer the entire package rather than a lot of these other roofing companies just do roofing and gutters. Yeah, that's where we make a lot of our money, but nowadays everybody does it. So now we have to stand out and offer more traits to a hail claim eventually.
Which is helpful because oftentimes when there is roof damage, there's going to be siding damage, there's going to be gutter damage, window damage,
So
all these other things. So hence All Exterior Solutions is not just roofing solutions.
Smart
which
name.
is smart. It makes sense.
sells
So,
itself.
yeah, it does. Well, we're going to get into the podcast and dive deep into roofs and what you need to know. But as always, I like to do a quick teaser for the Houses of Horror segment. And again, the Houses of Horror segment is the last segment of each podcast where both of us kind of just talk about some of the nightmare experiences that we've seen in the industry. So mine today, just a quick teaser, is it's actually going on right now where not with you, not because of you, but I have a seller who is, they're trying to sell their home. Margins are tight because there's a couple of things with the house. They haven't owned it for that long, so there's not that much equity. They've got a solar panel loan on top, and we just they were just under contract, and we had that contract terminated on us by the buyers because the roof is pretty shredded. And so we're trying to navigate that situation, and you will probably have some more context because you've been helping us with that one. But the insurance isn't coming in clutch for us. It's being tricky. So we'll get into that in the details later. But why don't you give us a little teaser on one of your experiences?
I'd have to say the worst nightmare that I had probably was about 3 years ago in Frederick. We were roofing a pretty decent sized house, and obviously we roof when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
So this was an unexpected storm. We were maybe thinking it'd just be light rain. Started getting darker and darker, and then it had that little tint of green to it. So we're like, oh, dang, it might be some hail. So unfortunately got hailed on. Yep, exactly. So, but the homeowner's like, yeah, screw this. This is just too much. I'm not dealing with it. Just finish it up and close it up.
So,
That was probably the worst one, but he was cool with us and everything. So, I mean,
well, we'll dive in a little bit deeper to that towards the end of the podcast. But in the meantime, let's just go ahead and get into it. So, roofing in Colorado. So, one of the things that I find interesting that my inspector always says is, hey, the average lifespan of a roof in Colorado is like 8 years at best, because we get a lot, not only do we get a lot of hail, but we get a lot of snow, which just stands and puts a lot of pressure on the roofs. We get a lot of sun too. Surprisingly, we get more sunny days than the state of Florida. So we got all these UV things happening. What do you find? What have you find have been the biggest things that impact roofs and their lifespans here in this state?
I would just say the harsh weather conditions, and homeowners don't really realize it, but you need to kind of pay attention to your roof as well. Just because it has the warranty of 30 years, you can't expect it to be flawless for the 30 years, you know? So
Right.
just putting some TLC, caulk up the holes and stuff around the penetrations, around the vents and all that stuff definitely helps minimize that. But I mean, realistically, with the weather conditions in Colorado, it is a lot harder to maintain. We don't have a much humidity, so we don't really have the algae. Mountains do have the algae problems and all that because they're shaded and humid up there sometimes. But other than that, I mean,
Interesting.
there's really not much you can really do. I mean, to prevent the leaking and all of that, I would definitely do the caulking and all that.
Yeah.
But
Just some
realistically,
general TLC, which I don't think anybody does. I don't know anybody who goes up on the roof and checks the status to see how things are going up there.
I was gonna say I don't even do that, but I go up on the roof on our house. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, realistically, you wouldn't think about that. A lot of
Yeah.
homeowners don't even go up on their roofs. You know,
No, I've never
scared
been
of
on that.
heights, fall.
Totally. Yeah.
So,
Okay. So general TLC is helpful, but would you say that hail is probably the biggest cause of roofs needing replaced?
oh, for
Probably.
sure, yeah.
After hail, what would you say is the next most impactful thing that can screw up a roof? Is it just the
Maybe
age?
wind.
Wind.
Wind. Sometimes the winds can blow up and damage the seals, lifting that,
Yeah.
causing it to break
Separate.
the bond. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
But other than that, I mean, we don't really get too much windstorms that are really significant enough to
Enough
do that.
So it's
But
mainly the hail.
mhm.
So what I guess what platforms do you use? How can you tell if an area has seen hail and might be in need of roof replacements and stuff? How do you operate that?
Well, we have a couple apps. I mean, we have the weather tracking. There's a hail recon. There's My Radar. So My Radar is really what I use personally. It's a great app. Kind of shows the weather forming. You can see how heavy the rain is from light to heavy. And then on that app, it actually shows you pink. So pink would be the hail. So we kind of focus on that when we know there's a thunderstorm, afternoon thunderstorms. We'll watch it pretty closely. I mean, us and the team we're all in an app together, in a group chat. So we'll just communicate and be like, hey, I'm getting pea size over here.
Yep.
Somebody else will be like, hey, I'm getting quarter size over here, but it's slushy, it's not hard. And then somebody in a different city might be like, I'm getting golf balls right now and
Yeah.
it's solid. So they'll go out and start scouting the area, setting up signs and all that stuff.
Finding
And then
people to
we'll
help
all
out.
go meet out there and just kind of just dominate that neighborhood.
So why don't you break that down a little bit more for me? Because I honestly do not understand or know that much about hail. So what are, I guess, the different tiers of sizes? How big are those, and how much of an impact can they have on a roof?
So, I mean, we have pea size all the way to teacup or baseball size hail. So, I mean,
Jeez.
there's other cities. Usually the farm towns are the ones that usually get like the massive ones.
Yeah, like eastern Colorado, like Elder
plains,
County,
yeah.
Elizabeth.
Like Strasburg and
Strasburg.
all the Eaton.
So-
So even south and like Yuma areas. So
Yeah.
they're kind of all around the eastern slope of Colorado.
Has a
definitely
higher
get
chance to get that
massive ones.
big,
yeah.
massive hailstorms. That sounds dangerous to even, like, that sounds like that could seriously injure people.
Oh yeah, cattle definitely gets killed.
Pounded.
I remember when I was at
Jeez.
another company, we got hit. Where was it? Broadmoor down in Springs.
Yeah.
They had the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. They got annihilated with maybe tennis ball size.
My gosh.
And yeah, a lot of the houses out there just got destroyed. I mean, the highest claim I've ever done on a residential was 297,000
Of damage
of
on
damage.
the house. So that was not only the roof, but that was just the
Roof,
house itself
gutters.
was
I
just
got them whole
destroyed.
new windows, siding, which was stucco.
Wow.
That
yeah.
actually took out the Cheyenne Zoo and a bunch of animals died. I
Really?
don't know if you ever heard that story.
How long ago do you think that was? Like 6 years or something, you said?
Probably
That is wild.
6 to 8 years ago.
Tennis ball size hail. That sounds like
And
doomsday.
killed animals.
Jeez. Oh my gosh. How often would you say that happens? Because I don't think I've ever seen that.
It takes some time, and that's the thing that's crazy is obviously the weather. You can't predict the weather. You can't track the weather as much
You
as
don't
you
know when
want.
that's
You
going
don't
to
know
happen.
exactly. So that's the hard part. But I mean, with the city, the last biggest storm that I was involved in was when the mills shut down. Remember that one?
Yes.
What was that? 2017,
Yeah.
16, something like that?
Probably like that.
17?
Yeah.
That was the last one that I was actually involved in, and that one
Yeah.
took out the mills for a while.
Yeah. The mall, right? Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. And so that was just because of a big hailstorm where it got just decimated by.
And those were probably what, golf ball?
Yeah. And it wasn't even the tennis ball or the baseball
No,
size.
but those were solid ice balls. So
Yeah.
there's densities to the hail as well. So
Yeah.
you could have a golf ball and it could be a slushy,
And not
which
be
I've been in those hailstorms too. We got reports of golf balls. We went out, seen a bunch of collateral damage, and then we ended up getting on the roof, no damage.
Huh.
So
Yeah.
it
The
definitely
densities.
plays with you for
Yeah.
sure. So
That's crazy.
it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to tell. You could get golf balls and be slushy, no
Yeah.
damage. You can get a quarter size solid ice with a little bit of wind and it'll just demolish roofs.
Interesting.
So
Okay. So you have on the most severe case, you'll have something as big as a tennis ball or a baseball. And then after that, in terms of severity, you probably have these golf ball size hail. That's probably a little bit more common, maybe a couple times a year that happens in select areas.
I'd say
I've seen that.
$half is probably the average.
$half
To a
size.
quarter to $half
Yeah,
would probably
a
be
little
the
bit smaller
average.
than the golf ball size.
Yeah.
Okay, and then just a smaller hailstorm. That's what I saw a lot this year was just kind of that pea size or like the pea gravel size hail. How often does that pea gravel size hail actually cause significant damage? Or is it not often? Maybe on an older roof that's already starting to deteriorate or something, or
Not
really?
even that. The only damage a pea size would really do is just surface scratch it. So
Okay.
you'll see a lot of granules knocked off the roof, but that's about it.
But it's
you
not-
won't really see any damage physically impacted on a roof. You'll just see a lot of the granules.
Yeah.
Because
So
I mean,
really
even
needs
with
to get that
hailstorm,
$half size to start having a chance to cause.
I'd say
damage.
even you could honestly have like a dime size hail.
Yeah.
But when driven and solid and still cause
And that
damage.
can still,
So
especially.
it just depends. There's a lot of factors to it.
Yeah.
It
the
needs
density.
wind and it needs density.
Interesting. Okay.
So
Wow, that's incredible to know. I didn't know about all of that, especially the density. So that's really helpful. So walk me through often how we work together because we partner a lot on things like this. I'll have a buyer and the inspector says, "Oh, there's hail damage on this roof. I can't say how bad it is, but I've seen damage. You got to get a roofer up here." Or I'll have a seller that I'm representing and the buyer's inspector says the same thing. So we get you out there. So the moment when you arrive at the property that I send you to, or maybe you have someone call you from one of your signs, what does your process look like to be able to determine, to go and inspect the home and determine whether or not there's enough damage to make a replacement?
So what we usually look for, so since we're kind of like a general contractor, we focus and we actually do inspect the entire property from top to bottom. So in that photo report, what we look for is damage, obviously, but on every slope, we look for about 10 hits per slope.
Okay.
The average right now insurance is looking for is 8 to 10. So if we find 10 or 12, we're solid. But Liberty Mutual and Safeco have actually started where they want 14 hits per slope. So
Interesting.
if you find enough for that, then I mean, you know that the entire roof is going to get bought through any insurance company.
Yeah.
Or it should at least.
Yeah.
And that's what we would fight for. If we know that there's damage, we know that we can fight the insurance company and argue with them and just say, hey, like, there's 12 hits on the front slope, left, back, and right. Why aren't you guys paying for it?
Yeah.
Or thank you for paying for it. Now let's work on supplements to make sure that we can get it paid for what it's valued at.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. And so when you're saying slopes, I don't necessarily understand what that means. So is that just what is
so
the
the slope of the house? You got the front slope of the house, you got the left slope of the house, you got the right and the back. As long as you can find the penetrations on each slope, so 10 to 14 hits per slope, they'll pay for a full roof replacement. Exactly.
And what does it look like? Because I know, like we talked about, a lot of people have never been on the roof and never will go on the roof. What does it look like?
I guess it just depends on the size of the hail, but you'll kind of imagine an impact circular hit on the roof. Sometimes depending on the density, you'll see the fiberglass matting. Obviously, if you see the fiberglass matting, it was pretty solid and cause enough
kind of the
damage.
little sparkling.
Yep,
in a
exactly.
circular
Yep.
form.
So,
So you're
that
looking
was,
for 8 to 14 of those on each
Mhm.
slope.
Yeah. That's why we usually ask the homeowner, who's your insurance company, so that way we know who we're going to be arguing with.
How much you need to find.
Exactly. But with us, we kind of set it to a standard where we want to look for 14 anyway.
Yeah.
That way we know that it's going to get bought. It should get bought.
Totally covered.
Yep, exactly. So there shouldn't be no issues with that.
And like you said, you're also looking for damage to the gutters and to the siding and to the garage and to the trim and windows and all these other things, so that when you go and you propose this, or the homeowner goes and proposes this to their insurance company, not only can they get a new roof, but they're getting hopefully a lot of extra coverage on top of that, right?
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So we try and I mean, it's a claim. So at the end of the day, we're here and you picked us to help represent you. So we're here to maximize your claim to a point where we make sure the insurance pays for every trade that was hit before pre-storm condition is what it's called. So we go based off of that, and we look for everything that has been damaged or affected from the hail. So fencing, anything. We can get them to
Nice.
stain it.
Wow.
If the fence was stained, we'll get them to restain and power wash it.
Which
so
is
we
not
can get
even part of the house itself.
Yeah, so
Fence.
personal property, we'll fight for that too. Obviously, we can't really negotiate the personal property because that's like your trampoline or your grill, something like that. But we definitely get the adjuster to recognize it, so that way we can try and get that extra additional money for the homeowner.
Nice. That's awesome. And I'll be honest, before you and I met a year and a half ago, or however long that's been that we've known each other, I've worked with a lot of other roofers, and that's something that I truly think that you shine at, is that when the homeowners call their insurance and they get that adjuster out there, you make sure that you or a teammate is there, so that you can walk with the insurance adjuster through the property, show them each piece of damage, make sure everything is noted and they don't miss anything, because I think sometimes they actively try to miss things or not see it how it truly is to avoid. I mean, everyone knows insurance. Yeah, they're blind. All of a sudden they lose their vision.
Yeah.
So that's something that I respect about what you do. And I truly think it sets you apart from other roofers,
I
is
appreciate
you handhold that homeowner, and you stand there right next to the insurance adjuster, and you make sure everything is covered. So how has that been in your experience? Do you see, do insurance adjusters truly try to miss things on purpose, or are they honest? What has your experience been with walking with them on the property?
I mean, it just depends on the adjuster. Like, there's good adjusters, there's bad adjusters, there's new adjusters, there's ones that are still learning. So at the end of the day, I don't really approach them in that way, like they don't know. I'll just have a conversation with them and just be like, hey, how long have you been doing it for? If they say 10 years, then I know that they should know what they're looking for. If there's somebody newer, then I'll just kind of sit back, observe them, make sure that they do take a picture of it. At least that way I know they assessed it and they've seen it. So
that makes sense.
it just depends on the adjuster. But I mean, most adjusters are pretty cool. Like, you want to obviously help the homeowner out. They kind of help out as well. You just want to make sure it just helps in the back end, so we don't have to send so many supplements. So the more that we can get them to pay for up front, then it's less work that we have to do.
Is it common for you to have to send out, request another adjuster to come out to reevaluate? Do they often miss the mark? Because I know sometimes it comes back and they're like, hey, we're only going to cover this, this, and this. And it's like, whoa, there's way more damage there. I mean, is that common or not really? Do they usually do a pretty good job?
I'd say when the season starts to slow down a little bit more, that's when you'll see it.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why. They're not as busy, so they should just take the time to crank it out and do it the right way.
Right.
I just had a reinspection last week where they said that there was no damage.
Mm-hmm.
The other adjuster, the new one, came out and was like, I don't know why I'm even out here. Like, I don't know. Yeah. He's like, I don't know why I'm out here.
Yeah.
So he circled it all up, did the photos. I'm actually still waiting for the paperwork, so that's how recent it is. And so we'll see based off of what he says. I mean, I've had adjusters say, oh yeah, we'll pay for the roof, we'll pay for this, we'll pay for that, and then we get the paperwork back and it's denied. So that's why I tell homeowners, like, don't hold your breath to it. Wait till you get the paperwork. If it shows numbers on it and says they're paying for it, then we can talk and go to the next steps.
And if not, then we reevaluate, we have them reinspect, we go through this again. And again, that's the difference here. That's something that I am very impressed with you and this company. And like you said, the smaller company, the family shop kind of thing, pays attention to that detail of, hey, we are going to walk you, the homeowner, through this, and we are going to be there by your side, advocating for you, the homeowner, against the insurance company to make sure that you are taken care of.
Exactly.
And I think that's great, especially in a world where insurance is a pretty hot topic, and it seems like you pay your whole life for all sorts of insurances, and the moment where you really need it, they bite you in the butt and they don't give you what you need, and they don't cover what you're requesting.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even with the one that I was just mentioning, that homeowner was even like, "Hey, I have a family friend. They do great roof jobs. They've been in business for a while." So I was like, "Okay, well, if anything happens, any red flags arise, they doesn't buy it, whatever the reason is, give me a call and I can let you know what I think."
yeah,
She called me actually, and she's like, "Yeah, they denied the roof." And she actually texted me and said, "Yeah, insurance said no go."
so you're like,
And
huh,
I was like,
let me get involved on
Yeah,
this.
exactly. So then I got more involved. I was like, "Hey, file a reinspection. I'll go out there personally and make
Nice.
sure that I can represent you." They ended up buying it. So
There you
it's
go.
like a lot of these other people, the roofers don't even know what they're looking for, what they're doing, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, you can get confused between like blistering, especially with the heat from Colorado. Some people get blistering confused with actual hail damage.
Interesting.
It's a pretty significant difference though, but I mean,
So that's just the heat and the UV rays or whatever from the sun.
with bad ventilation, yeah.
Bad ventilation.
So on your house, you don't have the proper ventilation, intake
Interesting.
and exhale.
Yeah. And that can warrant a roof replacement as well, or it's not as bad as hail. I
No.
see.
The only thing that insurance will really pay for is wind damage and hail damage,
damage.
and then, I mean, flooding, but that doesn't affect the roof. So
Right.
realistically, it's either hail or wind. If not, then you're
Interesting.
paying out of your pocket.
Yeah. Fascinating. And okay, let's talk about that then. What have you seen? What are the common, deductibles, I guess? Like let's say the insurance is going to cover the roof. How much can homeowners typically expect to pay out of pocket if the insurance is on board versus how much do you think the insurance is covering? I mean, it's probably all across the board, but tell
It's
me what your
crazy.
experience has been.
So when I first started about 10 years ago, deductibles were $500 to $1,000.
Yep.
You'd rarely see a $2,500 deductible or $1,500. Now, it's literally just been this year, and I'm sure 90% of the roofers can agree to that. It's just been the worst year deductible wise. It's
Really?
usually 1% to 2% of the home value. So realistically, on average,
The deductible?
yeah. So you're looking at, I would say, $5,000 to $9,000 deductible.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Of the home's value. So I've got a home first, like the one that we'll talk about in the Alice's Horror Story. It's a $500,000, $450,000 home. So you're saying that some insurance companies could potentially charge them $8,000 in a deductible to be able to replace the roof. What's the actual cost of the whole roof, typically, for something like that?
I'd say about 16 to 20. But I mean, realistically, you want to get the new roof because insurance is going to pay for it. But in order for them to pay for it, you have to pay your deductible.
Right.
If you don't have $8,000 laying around, even if you did, I don't even know if I would want to pay $8,000 on my roof,
Yeah.
You'd have to, but realistically, coughing up $8,000 that you had in savings for something else on a vacation, you have to put towards your roof. So
Yeah.
a lot of people this past
an
year
issue.
haven't done their roof, and that's because of the deductible issue. The good thing about that with us is we actually do offer financing.
Oh, it's nice.
So that does help us stand out as well. But even then, if we have to finance $8,000 and you have to pay $250 a month, some people look at it as a car payment. So then they don't want to do the roof.
They don't want to do it either. Yeah. And financing is great. Another thing that I'll add in there is you also do pay at close. So if you have a seller that needs to replace the roof, but they don't have the funds in hand, but they have it in equity, you could replace the roof, get it all done, and then have the sellers pay you at the closing table too, which is a very helpful service that many do not do or do not offer.
Yeah. So like I said, we do try, especially with the smaller company.
Yeah.
So as long as it's realistic and it's something that we can work out, we'll do it.
Flexible.
Exactly.
And that's fascinating because that was just an example of kind of the lowest single family home price is, $450,000, $400,000 is really as low as it gets in Colorado. But if you have $1 million home, $2 million home, all of a sudden your deductible can be $40,000 for the roof.
At that point, you would just do a cash bid.
Okay.
But still, I mean,
What's the difference? So explain to me the difference there. Instead of going through insurance, just paying cash
out of your pocket. Yeah.
Because
I mean, if your deductible is $40,000 and I can do the roof for $30,000, why have insurance on that portion? Just do it cash out of your pocket, do a retail bid, and we can do that as well.
So, and while we're still talking about the deductibles, because I know this is something that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that watch this and concerned about, obviously. Some deductibles are coming in at 1 to 2% of the home's value, but do you still see some that's like a flat 2,500, a flat 1,500? Is that still around, or is that really going away?
Those are still around. You just have to honestly talk to your agent or the insurance company when you sign up and just say, hey, so the reason why a lot of people have these 1%ers is because their premiums are cheaper.
Yeah.
So if you have a cheaper premium, you're going to pay a more expensive deductible when it's time to pay. If you have a flat $1,000 deductible, which is really good, then you're going to be paying a higher premium.
So all of a sudden your monthly's higher. I mean, they're going to get you one
realistically,
way or
yeah. If you're going to if you're going to at the end of the day have to pay 1%, you might as well. It's probably going to be cheaper to pay for the $1,000 one and pay that little more every month, rather than $8,000 when you have to file that claim. If you think about it. So at the time,
it kind of
a lot of people just like, hey, give me the cheaper one and we'll risk it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess that is how it goes.
Car insurance, same thing.
Same thing. Health insurance, it's all life insurance, right? Like you pay more, you get more covered, you pay less, you get less covered kind of thing. So I guess that all makes sense. Okay. Well, that's good. Is there a general like cost that people can kind of put in their heads of like, how much a roof costs per the size of a home? Like, or is it I guess some roofs are bigger, some roofs are smaller. What can people expect for just roof costs?
That all varies too. I mean, 1 story, 2 story, steep.
Yeah.
What kind of material, if it needs a redeck. So there's a lot of components to it. So that's why I always tell people, like, let me go out there, take a look at it just to make sure. Because if I tell you 10,000 and then I go out to the day of the build or something, and we notice something way different. Yeah. It could be 15.
You got to see
That's a big difference.
What would you say, I guess, the average cost of a roof is in today's world, today's market in Colorado, across the ones that you've done over the last 2 years? 15,000? Yeah, that sounds about right for what I've seen too, about 15,000.
So even then, if you have $8,000 deductible, buy half, get half the roof free.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still getting a decent deal.
It's still,
at the end of the day.
Or if you have a good deductible that's like a flat 1,000 or a flat 2,500, that's
good. The thousands are
those are
so,
you gotta do
those
it.
Are amazing,
because that's covering so much value, and a roof's good. A new roof, I'll say this from the real estate agent side of things, a new roof is awesome when I can throw that on the listing, the public description, advertise that to realtors, just say, hey, just so you know, brand new roof on this listing. That takes one of the 5 big inspection concerns that people could have off the plate. And not only is it just good to know, okay, it's a brand new roof. Awesome. I don't have to worry about the roof. But it's also good because when someone goes to buy that house that I'm trying to sell, they're getting property insurance quotes, and the insurance company is always going to ask, hey, what's the age of the roof? And what's the material? And if it's a new roof with class 4, impact resistant shingles or whatever they say, and we'll get into that, they're going to get a really good deal on their property insurance. So it saves the potential buyer instant money on a monthly basis with their property insurance. And a new roof is just great peace of mind. It takes a big weight off.
Selling point,
so it's a great selling point. Adds good value.
Especially because we give you free class 4 on every homeowner you recommend. So, I mean, it's really good for you.
There we go. Well, explain to us that in a little bit more detail. So what is this whole class 4 impact resistant? Because I know like verbatim, that's what insurance companies are asking for.
Yeah. So class 4 shingle is they have more of a matting back piece to the shingle with a little more material involved in it. So the insurance looks at you as like a less liability. So they give you an insurance discount.
Yeah.
But if you get hit with a solid golf ball with wind, it doesn't matter what roof
still
you
gonna
really have. Yeah. So
big dense hail is big dense hail, and it's gonna do damage.
But for the average hail claim, you should be good and not have to file a claim. But the good thing about that is we offer a free roof inspection too. Most companies do. And that will let you know whether or not you do have damage. We'll show you the photos based off of what we find up on the roof and in the property to make sure that it'd be warrant for a new claim. If the roof is good and you have a couple beadings broken on your window, of course we're going to say, hey, Landon, like it's not even worth filing a claim. Exactly. Yeah. Pay $50 to have somebody come out here and fix it. Nice. So we'll make sure and we'll guide you through what would be the best route for you. Nice. But yeah, class 4. I mean, there's good brands out there that have some really good ratings and stuff. So It just depends on the manufacturer, the size of the hailstorm, and the wind to it. But I would say on average, your roof will be good. You know, you get
Yeah.
that one significant hailstorm where you're like, yep, I'm going to need a new roof, and everybody's going to need a new roof. So
Yeah, it's not gonna, yeah. But insurance companies are gonna eat up the whole class 4 impact resistant. And like Brandon said, mention me or mention Brandon, mention this podcast, and they'll get you that class 4 for your roof for sure. So that's awesome. Why don't tell me about one of the things that I like that you also can provide is roof certs or roof certifications. Can you break that down a little bit? Because sometimes if we can't get a roof replaced, or if we don't, or if we're trying to avoid that and we're selling a home, but we can instead offer, hey, we've had a roofer come out, a licensed roofer who has issued a 5-year root certificate. That can help on the sell side. So why don't break that down a little bit? What is that?
So roofs are basically, what we do is we'll inspect the roof. If there's anything that needs attention, so like penetrations, nail pops, ceiling, all that kind, we see some scuffs and stuff. So we'll make sure that gets noted, or replace that slab or the slabs that do need to be replaced in order for us to feel confident that, hey, this roof will last another 5 years without any hail or anything like that. So that's pretty much what it is. It's really easy. We just want to make sure that we can stamp it and say, hey, this roof is good for 5 years. You'll be good. There shouldn't be any leaks or anything like that.
Of course, if a big hailstorm comes, that's going to mess up any roof out here.
Yeah. Manufacturer's voided at that point. I mean, yeah, you're going to have to go through the insurance. And a lot of homeowners get confused and they're like, oh, yeah, I have a 30 or 40-year manufacturer warranty. I'm good. I'll go through the manufacturer. But if you read the fine print, it states that once it's involved in a hailstorm, that manufacturer warranty is voided. And that's why you have insurance to take over and pay for that.
Yeah.
So
there you go. That makes sense.
Just a little education on that part.
Yeah, that's important to know, because you think you're covered with insurance, you think you're covered with warranties, but all of a sudden the fine print pops out when you need it and it goes away. So, but that's another thing that I have found to be helpful. If the roof's in good shape, or if it needs to be tuned up a little bit here and there, we just send Brandon out, goes and takes a look, makes any repairs or adjustments needed, and then issues a 5-year roof cert, just saying that, hey, assuming no golf ball size hail or any dense hail comes through, this roof is good for at least 5 years going forward. And that we can do a stamp right on the listing and advertise that we've got a 5-year roof cert, and that obviously goes a long way. So, okay, let's get into, we'll do one more little segment here, and then we'll finish up with the Houses of Horror segment. Roofing, not only roofing, but really any contracting thing out there in real estate. So, painters or landscapers or whatever, there's always like, I don't know how to describe it other than like there can be good ones and there can be bad ones. There can be some that come out. There can be a roofer that comes out and says, oh yeah, this roof is destroyed, when it really isn't. And I think roofing has one of those, roofers have one of those bad vibes out there where they can be dishonest. Yeah. So how can people know when they're in good hands versus when they're just trying to get taken advantage of by a roofer who's trying to make a quick sale?
That's hard, because so many people are good at scamming people. It's crazy to even you get sold on it, Yeah. So it's hard to really tell. That's why I always tell a homeowner: did they provide you photos? Did they physically show you that this is your house? And because I've heard stories where they'll take other houses and show them and say, yeah, this is your house. It's not even the same color, but homeowners don't really know that.
They don't get it. Yeah, they don't take the time they just hear, oh, my roof shot, I got to figure it out.
I even, because I've been doing it for so long, I've heard the stories and I just feel bad. So I just ask a homeowner like, hey, like, I really don't mind giving you a free, just hop up there just to see if you have damage.
Yeah, second opinion.
I've actually had a couple homeowners where they're like, yeah, they said I had damage and I needed it. I needed to file a claim right away. But I did the homeowner's house 3 doors down, and I'm like, there was no damage.
No damage, yeah.
And I did 5 inspections and there was no damage. So I'll tell them that, and then that's what gets them concerned. So I'm like, it's free. I won't, like, there's nothing for you to lose.
Yeah.
So I'll go up there, I'll show them photos and be like, there's no damage.
We're good
here.
Yeah.
And I've had that numerous times on that one. So
yeah,
a couple of them, I've gotten repeat business from them and referrals because I was just honest. So,
and I think that's a good sign. Is this maybe a few ways that sellers can go out, or anyone out there that's been sold that they need to get a new roof? It can't hurt to get a second opinion. So send Brandon, out there. But I think it's important to look at Google reviews, because as soon as someone gets scammed by a roofer, I'm sure they're going to go out there and take a look at the reviews and to see that. So Google reviews, I think, is helpful. Make sure you have, they actually send you legitimate photos and videos of your house, talking about your address. Has there legitimately been a hailstorm there within the last year or two, I guess, is an important piece, because there's probably some people out there that are just knocking doors in every neighborhood that they can, and just trying to sell a roof wherever they can, however they can, right? I'd imagine. So it's something to be careful about. But and that's why I wanted to bring Brandon on, because I have, like I said, we've known each other for going on close to 2 years now. I've sent you out to many of my clients' houses. You've done roofs for some of my clients. You're a person that I found to be trustworthy, loyal. I mean, you're trying to do what's best for the homeowner, because ultimately you and I get it when it comes to, being self-employed, having businesses that are service-based. You got to it's nice to make a paycheck here and there. It's nice to get a commission. But at the end of the day, what gets those commissions coming in the long term is truly being there to help people, because that's how you can get the repeat business, and that's how you can get the referrals and help more people. You got to be honest and have integrity. So Brandon is one of those guys in an industry where maybe some other roofers aren't as trustworthy. Brandon is, and so is All Exterior Solutions. So just one thing that I figured was good to bring up. Anything else on that, or any other things, just general roofing things that maybe we might have missed talking about?
No, I mean, just find somebody that has great reputation. Look at the reviews for sure. I mean, just do your homework and before you actually sign with somebody. Because at the end of the day, the biggest issue that we ran into this year is, oh, my deductible is being covered, or, oh, I'm getting a $1,500 discount. Like, realistically, it's illegal for any discount towards your deductible. So when you pay your policy, you agree that you're going to pay your deductible towards the contractor of your choice. After that, the insurance will pay the difference. So yeah, if you get any type of discount towards your deductible, it's actually illegal to accept that. So
that's good to know. Something for people to be a little bit wary of, be careful about, because that could be it's not allowed, and that could be a quick way that someone might be taking advantage of you there. So,
and I mean, even if they offered you a $1,500 discount, then you got to think, what corners are they going to cut on your roof to make sure that they can
make it up,
offset that deductible or the discount or the deductible assistance that they provide.
Yeah.
So that's been a hard game changer this past year as well, with the 1% deductibles. A lot of homeowners we talk to are, oh yeah, my deductible is being covered. And I mean, just like, what $5,000 covered?
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do to your roof?
Yeah, that's risky.
Yeah. It sucks. It's sad. But I mean, nowadays, from my experience, I think that homeowners, they're just like, screw it. I'm saving $5,000. I'm saving $8,000. Like, as long as I get a roof and I can show the insurance I got the new roof, we'll just go from there.
Yeah. And ultimately, you do it with the wrong person at the wrong time, it's probably just going to cause more hurt than
help. I mean, if you get a random audit and you have to prove that you collected the $8,000 from the homeowner, how are you going to prove that, So it's, the insurance will figure that out too, especially, I would say, this year, especially seeing that. I mean, all it has to do is one homeowner has to complain and say, hey, I got this roof from this company and they provided me a discount, and everything comes out, and then they're going to get investigated, shut down, all that stuff too. So
no, that makes sense.
Insurance is definitely going to start cracking down on that one, I feel like. Soon, so
yeah, I think they have to.
That's why we offer financing. So I mean, yeah, it sucks having to finance and apply for it and paying that $8,000, but at least at the end of the day, you got a new roof, you did it the right way, you're not going to get in trouble.
Yep, it's in good shape, and you can get things rolling. Okay, and then I guess last thing here on this section, how long does it take to actually replace the roof and get it going? Is this something that takes weeks? What do people need to expect for that?
Physically doing the roof, it takes a day, 2 max, depending on the size. I'd say comfortably we can do about 30 squares in a day.
Yep.
We could, if it's like 40 squares, then we can just bring out a couple extra guys to help out. But realistically, it should only take you a day to do the job.
Yep. Does it take a while to order the material? Could that take a while?
It just depends. Like during the season, it could be a delay to it. But I mean, like nowadays, right now, I can have your roof material delivered within a week.
Yeah.
Probably a couple days.
Yeah. So within a week and a half, 2 weeks, I mean, you're pretty much done with the roof.
It just depends on the availability.
Yeah.
But realistically, I have a great relationship with the distribution center here.
Nice.
I'd like to shout them out, but I don't know if I can.
No, yeah, I don't know if you can, but you can for me. It wouldn't be me blocking you, but if
it's Nate from QXO. So we have a really good reputation and relationship with him.
nice.
So I can just literally call or text him and say, hey, buddy,
Need this.
I need this now. And he'll literally
Work it out.
probably get it that day or the next day.
Nice.
If he has to freight it from another location, he'll do that for us. So
Yeah. So it seems like really the bigger delays that would from beginning to end of the roof would typically be with the insurance and
for
delays
sure,
on that
yeah.
end. But on your
our end, we get our
fast.
estimates and stuff sent to the insurance company. The insurance company, they usually have like 7 to 10 days to respond to a contractor, and they sometimes take advantage of that and will milk it all the way to the very end. So sometimes it could be quick. Some adjusters are like, hey, I just want this done and closed. Send it to me. I'll close it out and look at it right away. So it just depends on the adjuster, depends on the desk adjuster who's writing up the estimate. There's a lot of components to it, but we obviously want to get it done ASAP too. So
get it done and over and have people moving back on with their lives and have this behind them. So
exactly.
great. Well, let's go ahead and finish this up then with the Houses of Horrors segment. So the one that I have been experiencing right now, it's fresh in the brain because it's going on right now. It's a tricky situation, and you've been out there, you've seen it. But it's a great couple. I helped them buy the home a couple of years ago. They're fantastic. They've been great to work with. The house it just needs TLC on the inside and the outside. And we've been on the market for a bit. We've been making some price adjustments here and there. We went under contract. We had a buyer that was going to actually take over the whole solar panel loan. They were going to assume the whole thing, which is great because not all buyers are willing to do that. Sometimes they try to have the seller pay them off or pay off the majority of it. So they were going to take on the solar panels, which was exciting. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they had their inspection. They're like, oh, we're just terminating. There's the roof and there's a couple other things that we just don't want to deal with any of that. And so we had to get back on the market, start from fresh. We had you go out there and take a look. And then I think with their policy, they're kind of in that situation that you mentioned earlier where they're paying for a more affordable, a cheaper monthly policy. Hence why the insurance there's obviously a bigger deductible. Also, I think the roof is like 30 years old or something. And because it is so old, it sounds like the insurance company
Depreciated
the value of it. And so they're only going to come out, like, how much did they say? Like, I think $3,000?
$2,900.
And how much that roof is what? Like
Insurance valued the roof at $19,000.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the depreciation, so of it being 30 years old, they depreciated it by I think 90%.
Jeez.
And then the deductible for that customer was like $6,800.
Yeah.
And then they have the metal exclusion policy, so that a lot of homeowners are getting that as well. So if you have any metal, so like your turtle vents, all your ventilation, gutters,
Yeah.
they're not going to pay for it. So a lot of homeowners don't read the fine print.
Yeah.
The agents honestly don't even tell them like, hey, Landon, you're getting into this policy. It comes with this, and this.
And here's what you're
with this
losing.
deductible. Yeah. They just sign them up because that's what they get paid to do.
Right.
So
And insurance agents, right? Or like insurance brokers.
Agents,
Yeah.
brokers, yeah.
Yeah. And so that one's tricky just because our margins are tight. They've only owned the home for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And so now we have a roof issue. We've got the solar panel loan on top. We've got to figure out. We've got another smaller lien on the home. So there's all these just things that are adding up tick by tick. And all of a sudden, yeah, it's a nightmare. And it's one that, we're still figuring out. So that hasn't finished yet. We're getting it figured
one of
out.
those nightmares.
Yeah, it's just not an easy one. And we'll get it worked out for them. We'll have an update soon for that situation. But we just got to find that right buyer that wants to work with us on it. So tricky market to do that. But anyway, so why don't you tell us about your story and how you navigated that one?
We just finished it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just finished it. It hailed, waited for it to stop hailing. Good thing it was only like a 20-minute storm.
So just to set the context here, you're out in Frederick,
Yeah.
which is in the middle of nowhere.
I'd say it's pretty decent now.
Oh, is
They
it?
definitely grew.
Yeah.
A big community out there, but they're up northeast side of
Yeah.
25.
So you're out there, you're in the middle of the roof.
We were about 3/4 of the way done, and then it just started getting dark. And then, yeah, like I said, we got that little tint of green in it, so we knew that it might hail. And of course, the nightmare happened right above us, so on our roof.
Jeez. Did it mess up the roof, like the material that you had
It
already
did
installed?
damage the roof, but it wasn't significant. I mean, for us,
'Cause it's
as
brand new
the
material, I guess.
yeah. So a lot of homeowners are also like, "Oh, my roof's 2 years old. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah.
should be good." I always educate a homeowner and let them know that, hey, it doesn't matter how new the roof is. It could be a day old. It could be the day of the build, like my situation, and it still have damage. Like an ice ball is an ice ball, and it's going to cause damage. So
Sure. Yeah.
realistically, you can't tell whether or not you're going to have damage or not. But yeah, we ended up finishing the roof. It did have damage on it. The homeowner just didn't. There's just homeowners that don't care and don't want to go through the insurance process. You
Yeah.
know, so I mean,
So
I
he
get
so
it.
he just told you, "Hey, I don't care if it damaged everything you just put on today, just finish it.
Pretty
I don't
much.
care."
And he's the boss, so I told him, hey,
Are you sure?
he said, yeah.
So, so, and
It was
what size was that hail? Just
that one was about quarter size.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
but it was
wasn't
dense.
solid, but it had some dents to it. It was like, I'd say in between, but obviously it caused damage. It wasn't
Yeah.
terrible, but that's what I inform him as well. Is that I was just like, hey, it's not terrible. It's not significant. It's not going to cause any leaking. There is a little bit of damage. He's just like, yeah,
Man,
finish
just
it up,
go.
close it up.
That is so ironic and funny. Literally
That's why
replacing a hail damaged roof and then getting hail damage on it in the midst. And it's a tight window for that to have even happened because you're there for a day
Yeah.
and it's done. And so, yeah, that's fun.
That's why it's so unpredictable with Colorado. It's so hard, you know?
Right. You never know when it's going to happen and it comes freaking quick.
Oh, yeah.
Like you don't have time to get your cars in the garage sometimes. It is there in a blink and you are in the middle of it.
I mean, I'm sure some people have seen hail. I mean, I've seen it where the hail goes straight through the windshields of cars. So you'll see
Terrifying.
literally back windows or front windows just blown out.
Yep.
And then you'll just see solid, like this mic size hole in the windshield.
Jeez. That is nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Texas is the #1 state. And I remember hearing a couple of stories where they got like grapefruit and it went straight through the decking, through the attic, through the shingle.
Oh my gosh.
Right onto the kitchen counter or on the floor of their house.
That could kill people.
Gosh. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it's so unpredictable.
You never know.
Unpredictable. You don't know.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But wow. Well, that's good. That's all good stuff. I hope this has been helpful to all the viewers out there watching this. This has been everything about roofs, everything you need to know. And if you ever needed help with a roof replacement or just a free estimate or a 5-year roof cert, Brandon is your guy. So thanks again for tuning in to Realty TV. We will catch you on the next episode. Sweet. 47 minutes.